everybody! What you just heard was performed with the shiny new GeForce software M-Tron Mark II. And as I guess, this is not called Mark II because it's the second version of their M-Tron Pro plugin, but it refers to the famous Mellotron Mark II. But what's a Mellotron? I guess since you are watching this video you already know, but just in case you do not, here's a quick explanation. The Mellotron is an instrument from the 1950s and it pioneered the sampling technology, if you will. The then revolutionary idea was to record single notes of an instrument, say a flute, onto magnetic tape and then put slices of this tape underneath each key of this instrument. And if you play any note on the keyboard, it plays back the recording of that note played on the real instrument. This runs for about 7 to 8 seconds, and then it ends abruptly. And the tape stops, and when you release the key, it's pulled back by a spring mechanism, and then you can play the note again. Back in the 50s, I guess this was more of a home entertainment system for the upper class, but it was made very famous in the 1960s and 1970s by famous bands like this one. Can just play very few notes and hope this video is not pulled down because of it, but there are plenty of others. The most famous model of the Mellotron is arguably the M400. It looks like a white refrigerator or something like that, and was brought on the stage by bands like Led Zeppelin, the Moody Blues, whatnot, Genesis, King Crimson. The predecessor of the M400 and M300 was the Mellotron Mark II, which had 2 manuals. Instead of an organ where the manuals are laid out on top of each other, with the Mellotron Mark II, they are next to each other. Remember, underneath the keys were departments with slices of tape, so you could not stack them on top. While you had lead sounds in the right manual, like the flute I just showed you, the left hand manual was parted in itself, and the lower part had rhythms, the upper part had accompaniments, which means recorded underneath each key was a whole ensemble, a band or a string section, just like that. When I first heard the string section, I was like, what the hell has happened to musicianship these days? Listen to that. So much emotion is displayed so beautifully, each of them. It's just marvelous. And the cool thing with the new M-Tron Mark II is that this 2-manual layout is reproduced when you use a large controller like this 88 key master keyboard. Then you have a dead key in the center, the F sharp, and on the left hand side you have the left manual, on the right hand side you have the right manual. You can also use 2 keyboards with different MIDI channels and have your manuals laid out that way. And then you can select different rhythms, accompaniments and lead sounds and play along. instead of explaining you every dial and knob and feature of the new plugin, which I'm pretty sure other people will do a great job at, I want to play you some more music with these great 1950s vintage Mellotron sounds the people at G4 Software and Streetly Electronic rescued for us. And if you want to listen to the Mellotron sound in a more modern environment, I would recommend you this record by one of my favorite bands, Motorpsycho. It's called, I hope I pronounce this right, Beginnerser, and uses exclusively or almost exclusively Mellotron sounds. And there's another record I can shamelessly recommend by a certain German guy, and there's also a lot of Mellotron on it. Some tape banks from the GeForce M-Tron Pro, as well as a real Mellotron by a much more famous German guy. So, see you soon and enjoy the sound of the Mellotron.